John Brenkus, the brilliant mind and charismatic host behind ESPN's critically acclaimed series Sports Science, has died at the age of 54 following a quiet yet deeply painful battle with depression. His death, announced on Sunday, June 1, 2025, sent shockwaves across the sports, entertainment, and broadcasting communities. In a world where science meets athleticism, where curiosity fuels clarity, and where stories are told through data and emotion alike, John Brenkus stood as a beacon. Someone who not only translated complex ideas into digestible, engaging narratives but also brought an unmatched enthusiasm to everything he did. The heartbreaking news was delivered in a solemn statement posted to social media by his family, who expressed profound grief while simultaneously honoring the man who transformed the way we think about sports and athletes. "It is with profound sadness that we share the news that John Brenkus has passed away," the statement began, echoing the heartbreak that quickly reverberated across countless platforms. John, co-founder of Base Productions, founder of Brinks TV, and co-creator and host of the 6-time Emmy Award-winning Sports Science, had been battling depression. The message, both respectful and painfully honest, was a stark reminder of the internal battles that many face, even those who appear to be thriving publicly. John lost his fight with this terrible illness on May 31, 2025, the message continued. His heartbroken family and friends request privacy at this time and encourage anyone who is struggling with depression to seek help. In a time when conversations around mental health have slowly but surely become more open and less stigmatized, Brenkus's death served as a gut-wrenching wake-up call. Behind his unmistakable voice, behind the facts and figures and animated segments, was a man who, like many, faced invisible struggles with remarkable bravery. He was a scientist of sport, yes, but also a man who brought vulnerability and passion to everything he touched. Brenkus first made a name for himself in 2007 when Sports Science premiered on Fox Sports. The show quickly captivated audiences with its dynamic mix of scientific rigor, cutting-edge technology, and athletic spectacle. It was part documentary, part high-tech laboratory, and part awe-inspiring stunt show. And right at the center of it all was Brenkus, who guided viewers through every high-speed collision, every gravity-defying leap, every muscle-quaking feat of strength and endurance. The show was later picked up by ESPN in 2010, where it reached new heights and solidified its place as a cultural staple in the world of sports media. Segments often aired on SportsCenter, introducing science to casual viewers in a way that was never patronizing, never dry, only thrilling, insightful, and empowering. To many, Sports Science was more than a show. It was a revolution. Brenkus had an uncanny ability to blend entertainment with education, to turn a 45-degree angle or a 1.2-second sprint into something mesmerizing. Whether he was explaining the mechanics behind a LeBron James dunk or analyzing the force behind a Ray Lewis tackle, Brenkus brought the same energy, the same passion, and the same respect for the science as he did for the athletes themselves. His voice was part of the rhythm of modern sports storytelling. His explanations helped fans not only understand what happened, but why it happened. He made the invisible visible, the mysterious measurable. But Brenkus was more than just a host. He was a creator, a visionary, and a tireless advocate for innovation in storytelling. As co-founder of Base Productions and later the founder of Brinks TV, he pushed the boundaries of traditional media. He wasn't satisfied with just telling stories. He wanted to reshape how we understood them. His projects frequently fused high-level production with immersive, experiential learning. In many ways, he gave sports broadcasting a new dimension, merging physics, biomechanics, physiology, and human drama into a single unified experience. Sports Science earned 6 Emmy Awards under his leadership, but perhaps more importantly, it earned the admiration of fans, athletes, and peers alike. It was common to hear a high school coach referencing a segment from the show, or a young athlete explaining a movement based on one of Brenkus's experiments. His work trickled into training rooms, classrooms, and living rooms. His legacy was becoming deeply embedded in how we think about performance and possibility. So when SportsCenter paid tribute to Brenkus in a heartfelt segment on Sunday, it wasn't just an obligatory nod to a former contributor, it was a salute to a pioneer. John Brenkus was an innovator, an entertainer, and an educator, the voiceover stated with solemn respect. He will be missed by many. And those words, though simple, rang with profound truth. Because John wasn't just a television personality, he was a force. He brought joy to learning, purpose to performance, and soul to science. As tributes poured in, it became clear just how far-reaching Brenkus's impact truly was. His influence had quietly threaded its way through nearly 2 decades of sports media, leaving a trail of inspired minds and grateful hearts. ESPN's veteran NFL insider Adam Schefter was among the first to respond publicly to the news, writing via X, formerly known as Twitter, "This is incredibly sad. John was so good at what he did. Sincerest condolences to his family and friends. Rest in peace, John." Those words echoed what so many others were feeling, an overwhelming sense of loss for someone whose light, while bright, had gone dim far too soon. Former NFL quarterback and ESPN anchor Robert Griffin III also shared his heartbreak. "Prayers up for John Brenkus and his family," he posted, the prayer hands emoji speaking volumes. Post was brief but deeply felt, a reflection of how often Brenkus's work had touched the lives of those both on and off the field. NBC sports fantasy analyst Matthew Berry offered perhaps one of the most personal tributes, revealing his long-standing friendship with Brenkus. "I'm so incredibly sad to learn of the passing of John Brenkus," Berry wrote. "I did an episode of Sports Science back in the day and we remained friends. The ultimate professional, he was kind, encouraging, smart, and inventive. This is awful. R.I.P. John Brenkus." Berry's words painted a picture not just of a colleague, but of a genuine human being, one whose kindness was as potent as his intelligence, and whose generosity extended far beyond the screen. As the world continues to process this loss, the questions linger. How can someone who brought so much joy, so much clarity, so much excitement be the same person who quietly suffered in silence? It's a question that reminds us how insidious depression can be, how it often lurks behind the brightest smiles, how it can live quietly behind the loudest applause. Brenkus's passing is a tragic testament to the truth that mental health struggles do not discriminate. Fame, success, creativity, and recognition do not make anyone immune to the internal storms that rage quietly beneath the surface. And yet, in the midst of this heartbreak, there is also a call to action. Brenkus's family, in their statement, encouraged anyone battling depression to seek help. It was a reminder drenched in grief but charged with urgency, that it's okay to ask for help, that no success, no stature, no public image is worth hiding your pain. Mental illness doesn't care if you're a household name or an everyday worker. It can affect anyone. And that is why Brenkus's death, while tragic, might still serve a purpose: to shake the silence, to start more conversations, to save someone else who feels alone. Brenkus leaves behind not just a body of work, but a body of influence. He showed the world that science isn't boring, it's beautiful. He showed that storytelling isn't just about drama, it's about truth, discovery, and depth. He brought heart to his facts and facts to our hearts. From the first time you heard him explain torque during a JJ, what sack, or watched him break down the force of a Serena Williams serve, you felt smarter. You felt more connected to the greatness of athletes and the human body itself. That was his gift, not just to entertain but to enlighten. For those who grew up watching sports science or those who found it during its peak years on ESPN, Brenkus's presence became familiar, almost familial. He was the voice of reason in a world of hype, the explainer of miracles, the man who made the extraordinary feel attainable. He didn't just explain moments, he elevated them.